I love you like a brother. I'd never want to see anybody hurt you, but that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
It was hilarious why somebody punched me dead in my face. But I would never. I'll never take it there. I challenge people.
It would only be hilarious because it would only be hilarious because of how everything would happen in its entirety. Because I already know you're not gonna just eat it and be like, "Hey, you need to calm down." It's instantly gonna go into like, "Oh, this nigga just broke my glasses" type shit. Like, "Oh, it's on."
At the same time, no, I'm not gonna do all of that shit like he doing and talking about. I'm talking all this shit. But number one, bro, I may mentally challenge people's stances and shit, but I'm not like bucking up on people. Like, what the fuck you gonna do, bitch ass? I ain't doing all that.
Yeah.
So, I
don't think you would do anything like that clip, but it just posed the thought of if we had a guest here and you swung on them because, like I said, you be trying people sometimes. Because, when I'm editing, I have to re-listen to the podcast again. I be sitting there like, yo, this nigga be going in sometimes.
Look, if you're gonna make a statement, you gotta, be able to stand up to argument for that shit. Hope you got something for it, but
yeah. But anyway, I thought it would just be great because I'm like, one, that'd probably be the only hit that they would get. Because I know immediately, especially if they sitting right there and they do it, and it's like, boom. Like, I know you're going to knock him out or you're going to swing on him. That camera is going to be done for on that side. But we still got that camera. We still got this camera. Like, the mics are still on. I'm like, I'm going to be sitting there like, oh, my God, the viral moment I've been waiting for. And then the realization's gonna kick in, and then I'm gonna stomp him out with you.
He better stand up because if he stay sitting down, bro, I got the high ground.
Don't let the chair break and collapse, and he fall down, and he down there trying to struggle to get up. It's gonna be looking like old boy that jumped at the judge.
Oh yeah. Niggas flying over there.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, you already right there, but that's how you gonna jump towards that nigga.
I don't know. That would be fucking crazy if somebody tries some shit like that, but I doubt it.
Oh man. Yeah. So we're already recording, but should get right into it. Yeah. Welcome back. Another episode of Verbal Gunplay podcast. It's your boy Danny De Niro, aka D Money.
L double the golden line. What's up?
What's up? No more growling, no more rawr. Like
that's shit you always did. Nigga, I never did that.
Come on, man, you getting lazy with your intro. Like, didn't you have some other stuff you added on there?
I did, but I thought it was too saucy. So too much flair.
Okay, you want to be saucy like Santana? All right, I get you. And I don't even know if I'm gonna keep what we was just talking about in the beginning, but just in case I do, we was talking about how recently there was a podcast. I don't even know the name of the podcast, but whatever. I was just scrolling on Twitter/X, and I just happened to come across a clip with somebody talking about, I be talking shit to all these niggas, been like 4 years, ain't nobody ever tried me or something like that. And it looked like somebody that was a guest on the show proceeded to get up when he said, ain't nobody ever tested me or something like that, and caught him with a smooth uppercut. Like, that was one of the... I haven't seen an uppercut that clean in a long time. Like, he like wound that thing up. It came from the it looked like a Street Fighter move.
Not since the bus driver uppercutted that chick on the bus. Remember, that was a good ass uppercut.
Oh yeah.
He done fucked up now.
Yeah.
He hit that nigga with the crazy shirt and the crazy shit. That nigga's leg stiffened right up.
And that was the funniest part of that video, because when he connected with that nigga, you seen the legs lock up and he just tipped over. It's like you just pushed the tree down that you was chopping.
Yeah, that was funny. It was just out of nowhere too, because old boy looking at him, he just gets up, bam.
So, I mean, I guess like, I don't think anybody's going to just hit you, especially while you sitting, hit you and knock you out. But my thing is, that was this nigga's podcast, clearly. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't even want to put I don't even know the facts. Maybe he was the guest on the podcast. I don't know. And maybe that was the podcast person that punched him. I don't know, but that's not professional if that's what they did. But my thing is, let's pretend it was his podcast and he was popping that shit, because, you feel safe when you're in your environment. So I'm assuming it was his podcast. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, if a nigga sleep me like that, I'm not releasing the footage. I'm immediately deleting. It never happened.
That's true. How that shit get out?
It's never coming out.
And then
if there's anybody in attendance recording, all their phones are hand it over.
He didn't even stop though. Once he hit that nigga, he started to ground and pound him. But his co-host or whatever came in and broke it up. And then he got up and tried to go after him or whatever. I don't know. I wouldn't have. I think maybe for the clout, the viral moment. But I don't know, man. My ego wouldn't allow. Fuck all that viral.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, if a nigga swung on me and I ate it.
Okay, yeah.
Then I might release it.
That nigga Timber.
But that nigga got slapped. I mean, he wasn't unconscious, but if a nigga knocks me down like that, you had to be there. Yeah. It was one of those you had to be there moments because you would never hear about it. You would never hear about it.
And I would delete that footage so it can't even get leaked.
Oh yeah, delete it instantly. I don't even know if I'm keeping the episode. Like that, it might just be a skipped. It might be a skipped week.
Nigga, I would delete that shit. I would reformat my whole phone if I recorded on my phone or my computer. That hard drive's getting reformatted.
And depending on how my face looked, we'd have to immediately just record another episode with just audio only, and we'd have to just say we fucked up, the camera's fucked up or something. And in the next episode, I'm just gonna be looking like fucking Kodak Black or something, shiesty mask, shades and everything. Talking about this is the thugged out episode or something. Like I'm not gonna show no remnants or nothing.
Oh man, that sounds like let me see this shit you talking about. And
because it's one thing me telling you about it, but then when you seen the clip,
you know what? In the editing, you should probably add the little clip, maybe without the audio, getting bloop, bloop.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro.
Just in case they ain't seen that. Yeah, man. So how you been, bro? Like, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while because we recorded that long ass episode and then dropped it in spurts.
Yeah. Sorry, Shalisa, you got beat. You had the record because I think her episode was like 3 hours almost.
Yeah.
She got spanked.
Yeah. It was that like your homeboy that called last. That was another hour and a half on just him.
Yeah. Hour and a half just on that, bro. That was like a 4 hour plus episode. I'm gonna tell you right now, as the editor, I loved it. I absolutely loved it because it was easy. It was like, because when it comes to editing, I have to rewatch everything. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I did was when I realized how long that conversation was with my boy, I was like, all right, that's an episode right there.
Yep.
And then I immediately looked at the timestamp and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Find a ending point somewhere in that middle. Yeah. Put a little marker there, and I'm like, boom. Now I just go from there, set up the angles and everything. And it was great because it was like, it gave me like a week and a half, maybe almost 2 weeks to completely edit all 3 episodes in total. And I was just like, oh, this is just so relaxing. Because I got the audio already mixed and mastered. Mm-hmm. Now it's literally just setting up the angles. I already did all the text and everything, like all the fonts and all that stuff. I was like, oh, this is just wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, I welcome more episodes like that. So future guests, if you're watching this to see what this podcast is about, when you come on here, please bring a lot of conversation so that we can bleed it into like a 2-part episode. We need more of those.
Yeah, I will say that the episode with those 2 young ladies that are on here.
Yeah,
young ladies sound like an old man over here. Those 2 ladies that were over here. They definitely were more engaging, talked a lot, had a lot to say, a lot of opinions and stuff like that. It's very interesting. I would say they're one of our better and more engaging guests that we've had. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. So if you ladies are watching again, thanks again for coming on. As far as how I've been this whole time, bro, I think we could probably roll into the next topic. Men's health. I feel like we've talked about this before because us being older,
might have in the very beginning.
We always talk about some shit. I'm just getting old, man. And really, it's just now I'm at the point where I can't just eat and do whatever I wanted to. And my doctors are really like, yo, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? So I was in shit for like 2 years. I was in my lazy boy phase where I like barely did anything. I kind of just ate. But then I had a long string of different medical issues that even stopped me from being able to work out. And now most of that stuff is solved for the most part. So now I'm back to working out, eating better. My wife's on board. She's being, because same way. My wife, she don't really put on a whole lot of weight or nothing like that. She's always been that way. Yeah. She's never ate healthy, but you would think she ate healthy and exercised. She's just one of those people that
you got the natural body for that.
Yeah. But internally, medical-wise, she's got the same shit that most black people have: high cholesterol, blood pressure. Right. Well, she don't have blood pressure. Hers are like her blood sugar or something like that. So we both got issues we got to address. So now she's being like an absolute tyrant, bro. She packed me for lunch the other day.
Fucking salad.
Some Yeah, it's like some air fried chicken wings.
Okay.
And seasoned with Mrs. Dash, so no salt and shit like that. And a salad with like some sort of vinaigrette and like chickpeas in it or some shit with kale and all that shit.
But it was still fried chicken?
No, it's air fried chicken.
Oh, air fried chicken. Okay.
And like, yeah, you know.
So it's like almost like a grilled type of.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like a little crunchy because of the air fry, but
yeah.
it's like having baked chicken.
Oh, that's perfect.
Just not as bad as baked chicken.
That's perfect.
Can't do it. So air fried chicken is like perfect because it's not actually fried. But
what do you mean just not that bad? What's wrong with baked chicken?
I hate baked chicken, bro. Hate it. To me, you know why? Because maybe it's again a mental thing, but baked chicken is like, okay, we broke.
Baked chicken is we're broke.
Yeah.
What is baked chicken? I'm trying to think of what it is.
Chicken you put in the oven and you just hit 400 and bake that shit, nigga, like baked chicken.
Ain't that kind of like grilled chicken in a way?
Hell no.
No?
As a person who grills often, no.
Okay. So baked chicken is kind of like El Pollo Loco chicken, right?
That's grilled chicken.
That's grilled chicken? Oh, okay.
Yeah, baked chicken, bro. You ain't even really had it. That's how I know you're like, what's baked chicken?
Yeah, because I always thought baked chicken was like close to grilled in a way.
But now, actually it has nothing to do with you being broke or whatever. You know, if you got some chicken in the oven to bake that shit, then your ass is broke. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, you eat some chicken?
Yeah.
And it's chicken on the bone? They ain't broke to me. They ain't broke to me. I remember fish sticks.
Oh, yeah, we don't even fuck with
Tyson chicken nuggets.
So in us eating more healthy, not only is our groceries got a little more expensive, but now we have to shop more often because when you buy fresh shit, shit you eat that shit in like 4 or 5 days, it's over.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah, we go grocery shopping like every week now. Where before maybe we did like a full grocery shop every 2 to 3 weeks, and like maybe some small supplemental in between.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like all that. And I'm also, going to the gym. I hadn't really gone to the gym much in the last couple of years. Partially, like I said, some of it is like I physically was unable to.
Right.
But now I'm going to. And the one thing I've noticed, and I mean, I've had this before, so I should know better, but my sleep, I sleep like a stone. I come home from work, I go to sleep. Next thing you know, it's morning. Like, oh shit, what time is it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. You sleep, sleep. You work out before you go to sleep, or you work out like?
I work out before I go to work.
Oh, before you go to work.
Right before I go to work.
Yeah, that's what I've been on right now too. Like, I finally found some accountability partners. Oh man, loving it. Got 2 of them.
Oh yeah, I can't. I'm just in there by myself, bro. Starting slow. My routine, because I don't want to do a whole lot of cardio. So I try to do circuit style training where you just go from machine, no breaks in between.
Yeah.
And each circuit is a round, and you break like 3 minutes in between, and then you do it again.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do a whole circuit of push and pull, like 3 times. And then I'll either walk or do the elliptical for my actual cardio and stuff for maybe 10 to 20 minutes. And then that's it. And then as far as eating and stuff goes, like, I know you don't want to really go cold turkey. And I've kind of done this before. So it's like I'm just making more, eating healthier, eating better choices. And like straight up Xing some things out. Like I'm trying to never, unless like I'm in the middle of nowhere, we driving like cross country and I got to eat something. I'll maybe eat at a fast food place, but even then, I try to choose certain places like Chick-fil-A.
Well, even then, even if you do the fast food thing when you're traveling, you want to at least show a little discernment on what you're going to order. Don't think to yourself just because you're in the middle of nowhere and you're like, well, fuck it. This is Popeyes. I wouldn't normally eat this, but since I got it, I got to give my usual,
Try to do stuff like that. Like even when we go to Chick-fil-A, I get the grilled chicken sandwich and the side salad instead of the waffle fries or whatever. The diet lemonade or just water or whatever, stuff like that. Just making it a little bit better. Like I said, I've done all this like before, but the first time I got like all thin and muscular and shit was like out of vanity. I just wanted to look better.
Okay.
This time it's a health thing.
It's back when you was on your light skin shit.
Nigga, here we go. I want to just be like healthier and just live a healthier lifestyle. So more it's like less than a diet, more.
Fuck living a healthier life. You want to just live.
Bro, niggas will smoke fucking cigarettes and eat bullshit and die at 100, bro. Like you never know. Like it's hard to say like what affects people's lifespan because I've seen people live perfectly.
Yeah.
For instance, one of my wife's like a friend of a friend from high school, whatever, perfect health, ran marathons, taught yoga, all that shit. She died of a heart attack, bro.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you never know.
Right.
But I'm not also going to use that as an excuse to YOLO this shit and go ahead and just do whatever.
Not everybody can be blessed to live long like Clint Eastwood, fucking smoking cigars and just just walking life aimlessly and live to almost 100.
So I'm just trying to take better care of myself in that way in general, and think of it more of a lifestyle change and changing the way I go about things, and you kind of understand some of your habits when it comes to food, or that sometimes you eat in a certain way or at a certain time out of comfort.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if I'm having a tough day, like, ooh, you know what I'll do? I'm going to go eat. Like, you got to get away from that and get more towards taking care, eat like what you put into your body is something because you care about your body and you want to live longer and better life. I mean, like you said, no, everyone could die at any time for whatever reason, but it can come down to just the quality of the life. Yeah, old girl had a heart attack when she was younger than you thought she would, and she was healthy, but she led a happy, healthy lifestyle leading up to that. That's the way I will look at it.
Right. Like, imagine like going vegan, and sure, after a couple of years of doing it, you're used to it and you're feeling good and all that, you know, and then it's like, yes, I'm loving my life. And it's like you walk out and walk off the curb, get hit by a car, you're dead. It's like, you don't know when you're going to go. Like, your time, it's already been predetermined, but we just don't know when it is.
You ever seen that show Death Note?
Nah, what's that about?
It's an anime called Death Note. All you anime nerds out there know it's very famous. But there's an ability in that Death Note show. The Death Note is called a Death Note because literally they get a book from a devil, and if you write someone's name in it, they die. You can write specifically how and when they die, but if you just write their name, they just die of a heart attack within 5 minutes or whatever, right?
Okay.
But one of the abilities you can gain is you can gain the eyes, where you can look and it'll see how much time a person has on their life and a number above their head. Only you can see it though. Yeah, wouldn't you hate that shit? You look at somebody and you like look at the date and be like, some girl you really love, like, oh, she's so great, and you look up and her fucking death is like August 10th, and you look like, it's the 7th. Oh, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grease her, you know, nice little tear that up for the weekend and lose her number.
She's like, what you trying to do? Make me fall? And I'm just fucking you like it could be the last time.
Yeah.
You fucking scumbag.
Hey, you know, it's funny. I've told a couple of girls before, like, yo, I want you to fuck me like you're never gonna see me again.
Wow. And in your head, you're like, you're not.
And I'm like, yeah, you're not. And then I ghost them.
Oh, God.
Hey, man, I got to do it for the brothers out there to get ghosted. You know what I'm saying? I'm y'all hero.
You know what's crazy is I always say, you know, I've been married all this time. And I'm like, oh, that's terrible. But, bro, if I had been single all this time, too, God knows what I would have done.
Oh,
God knows what I would have done, especially if you just out here trying to get some maintenance sex. You ain't trying to do all that extra shit. Man.
And then almost the entire time you've known me, for the most part, I've been single too. Oh, man, it's been Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Been out here like Donkey Kong.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, that's what I be telling Reed all the time when they came on. I'm like, man, you lucky. You lucky you've been married pretty much your entirety as an adult, because if you'd have been single, oh man, been out here just Stone Cold Steve Austin chopping them down.
You got friends that are single though, right? That you do hang out and do shit with?
I don't have close friends that are single, because like I come from an era where niggas be trying to fuck your bitch and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not out here trying to be Super Smash Brothers with niggas I don't fuck with.
I've heard like that shit ain't stopped. Ain't no era. That shit's still going on.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, like, I'm talking about in my life, the era in my life, I had niggas around me that was doing that.
Oh, gotcha.
So now my circle is down to the point where it's just only trustworthy people now. But, you know, all you niggas is fucking long-term married relationships. So I can't go act a fool with none of you niggas.
Yeah.
You know, not that I'm trying to do that right now or anything. I'm just saying. In general. I'm just speaking about when I've been available.
Okay.
I can't go run the streets with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got to be out there on my Wolverine shit, just dolo.
Oh, yeah. I ain't seen that movie.
Let me ask you this. And then I know you say you haven't seen it. You have to have had the spoilers and everything ruined by now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I was like, how on earth, 2-3 weeks later, you haven't been...
There's clips online and everything and shit, man. I'm like, who the fuck?
I would imagine at this point, you like, since you've almost seen all the spoilers, it's like it kind of took the...
Not really, because like the funny is like I know, like I've seen a lot of clips of all the different characters that pop in, and but what I don't know is the story of what brings all these people together.
You don't know anything about the plot. You just know who's in the movie.
Yeah, I know who's in the movie. I've seen a couple of viral clips of things being said or done, but like it's not all.
Well, so I don't mess it up. Tell me what you know about the movie.
I really don't know shit. I just see.
I mean, like, tell me about some of the clips
There's a bunch
seen.
of different. There's like fucking 3 different Deadpool, Headpool, Sheepool, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
There's Henry Cavill in there. There's fucking Wolverine. There's fucking. I can't remember that nigga's name. From Magic Mike as fucking Gambit is in that bitch.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. I know the bad person is Professor X's like twin sister cousin or whatever from the comics.
Cassandra Nova.
Yeah, and who else? There's like a bunch of cameos with a bunch of people and shit in there.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, I'm not going because maybe you haven't had all of them spoiled.
I'm guessing it's like a fucking multiverse type shit, and I've seen all the clips where like they like walking up in Ant-Man's helmet or some shit. I'm sure there's some fucking jokes. I saw there's a what's the name reenacted that meme of Wolverine laying on the bed touching that picture.
Oh yeah.
So
when they had the #1 movie, and he's just looking at it. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch it eventually.
Bro, this is like shocking to me that you haven't seen this movie.
I actually have a lot. Going on
I'm aware you do. You still find time to play some games? Unless time you played a game.
Shit, what time is it?
Exactly. You played some games
less
recently.
than 12 hours.
So my thing is like this, like. You being shocked or me being shocked about you not seeing the movie is probably how you feel when you look at me and you say this nigga don't play video games no more.
Yeah, okay.
Because my thing is like, I don't know. I've never been to that many movies with you, but for the most part, I know that you're into Marvel. Mm-hmm. I know that you're into games, and most people that are into Marvel and into games would go see freaking Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, we're talking about a movie that is basically covering the last 25 years of the Fox Marvel universe. Like it would be like the equivalent of Endgame came out and you're like, oh, I ain't see it yet.
Oh man, actually I didn't. It took me a couple of days to see Endgame.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But we on like 4 weeks now.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like,
you know what, too? Like, also, what makes me go to the movie theaters is also like I don't always go with my wife. I think if she's unaware of this and not super hype, she's like, I want to go.
You know
see XYZ, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's go.
You just brought an interesting point to me. I'm not seeing any more Marvel movies with anybody unless I feel like they're as invested as me.
Yeah, because I don't want to be. That's the other thing, bro. I do not want to be explaining all the callbacks.
It ain't even that. It's like if I just see something that I think is just incredible, and I want to have a conversation about it,
and the other person,
and I feel like, and you're just like, oh, that's a good movie, and it's like. That's not the feedback I'm looking for.
You're not excited. Like, did you see when blah, 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 that was cool?
Yeah, I'm over here like, oh, when this person came out, like, I couldn't believe this. And you're just like, yeah, it was funny. I like how they did the jokes. And it's like, yo, miss me with that.
But you know if the person is into that kind of shit before you went to the theater, though.
Well, here's the thing. I asked them if they're up to date on the Marvel movies, and they said yes. So I figured that was enough for me not to insult their intelligence, because keeping up with the Marvel movies isn't easy.
Yeah.
So if you tell me you're up to date on the Marvel movies, I'm like, oh, okay. Let me not insult your intelligence. But now I see I got to come with 3, 4, 5 part questions.
They might have seen Endgame once when it came out, however many years ago. So technically they're up to date.
Yeah.
But also, have they been watching any of the TV shows? Do you watch any of the Marvel TV shows?
Absolutely.
There's like 2 that I haven't watched at all. I didn't watch, I think it was Miss Marvel yet. And I haven't seen the Skrulls one with Samuel Jackson, Secret Wars.
Oh, I thought that one was all right. The one, you probably watched this one and liked it, but I couldn't really get into it. I watched it, but I just didn't get into it. I didn't get into Moon Knight.
Oh, I did like Moon Knight.
I know. That's what I figured. I'm like, before I even said it, I'm like, I feel like he's going to like this one.
Yeah, I did like Moon Knight.
Ms. Marvel, I didn't like. I liked her in the Marvels movie, but I didn't like her with her own show. Like, I don't know.
I haven't seen the Marvels movie either.
Oh my God. Bro.
I've kind of lost interest in Marvel shit, bro. That's why I think that's maybe why I wasn't so hyped for this Wolverine thing. It's like I will see it, but I'm
all right.
not
Let me speak on it without let me be as spoiler free as I can be, I guess. Deadpool and Wolverine. And if you're listening and you haven't seen it, I'm not even telling you, spoiler alert. F you. You should have seen it by now. Yeah, that's how I think about you. Deadpool and Wolverine was some of the most fun I've had in the theater in a long time watching a movie. I seen it twice in the theaters. I almost seen it a third time. Wow. But when I was going to go see it the third time, I had missed the first 5 minutes, and I literally wanted to see the first 5 minutes. Because from the beginning to the very end, I was thoroughly entertained. I mean, if you watch any of the Deadpool movies, everybody knows they always, in my opinion, open with a funny or a sick intro.
Yeah, they do.
This one opened with a funny and a sick intro. Like, and I feel like I'm at like the perfect age because like it opened up to NSYNC Bye Bye Bye. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, like around our age, that was like the high school days.
It's a big ass song, yeah.
That was the high school days, and that's when like the little boy band pops and the dancing and all that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm trying to be as spoiler free as I can. But to see that movie open up to that song and what happened during that sequence, it was just like it was so hilarious. Like it was entertaining. It was definitely rated R. That's another thing. Before I go any further, I know a lot of you parents out there need to get a pow bringing y'all kids to see Deadpool and Wolverine because there was some stuff in there, and I was just like looking around in the theaters, like people really up in here with all their kids. Like this is crazy. Like I have never seen so many kids in a rated R movie before.
Yeah, I already know better.
But I mean, your kids are at an age where they can probably be all right. But I literally seen kids single digit ages in the theaters watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Like the amount of the F word, like fuck, I don't know what you think of the other F word, but the amount of the word fuck that was used in that movie was crazy.
These kids cuss all the time. I wouldn't be worried about the cussing. It got to be other shit.
Yeah, that's
being shown and more things, more graphic things that are being said.
Yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't like Shrek. Remember, Shrek was very subtle about the adult jokes that it made.
Yeah,
that you didn't get until you were adult enough to understand it. But I'm sure Deadpool was very crass. Definitely was on the nose.
Well, it was a lot straight to the point. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about. Matter of fact, it was so to the point of adulting that there was little sprinkled kid parts in there, like when they were talking about like cocaine, talking about like, you know, they were like, you know, you want to build a snowman? He's like, I do, but we can't because Disney won't allow it. You know, a little shit like that.
Definitely not a snowman out of coke.
Yeah. You know, he's always like talking from the fourth wall, and he's like saying things like, man, you know, there's so much shit that I could do, but because of Disney, I can't fucking do coke. It's just like, what the like, it was like so many coke references, and I'm looking around these little kids in the theater, and I'm just like, oh my God, like.
Maybe the parents learned that lesson. I had to learn that lesson. I took Tyrese to see a Batman movie once, because, you know, I wouldn't.
Batman? Ain't none of those rated R?
I don't know if it was rated R, but it was the one
wasn't rated R.
It was the one with Scarecrow. And Batman takes that fear toxin, and then Scarecrow's face, Scarecrow takes the fear toxin.
Batman Begins?
I think it was
the original one, yeah.
And Batman's face turns black and starts dripping with this black stuff, and his fangs out. My son straight up started crying right then and there. And it was like, because that shit was scary. If I wasn't thinking about it at the time, I was like, oh, it's just Batman. You know what I'm saying?
And it's PG-13.
It probably was. I don't even remember. But
you know what that just reminded me of? This is a funny story. I'm going to have to text him after this and bring it up. That reminds me, and this was a rated R movie, when I went to see Blade.
The first one?
The original. Mm-hmm. Went to see Blade with my little brother Flo. Now, you can do the math. Blade came out like 98. Yeah. And he's born in 89, so he's about 9 years old. Do you remember the very beginning where they're just like, dun, 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 like a little rave?
Oh, yeah.
Little dance rave. And then all of a sudden the blood starts pouring. And then there's the one human in there when he's just surrounded by vampires. And everywhere he looks, they're like, bro. Flo was in the theater. like screaming, like trying to cover his eyes, like scared. And I'm just sitting there like dying laughing because I'm like, what's so scary? Like, but I guess, I got like 6 years on him. So he's 9, but I'm 15. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with this. And he's like, like he's just sitting there crying. And I'm just cracking up.
What about the rest of the movie? Because there's a lot of killing and shit in that.
No, in the rest of the movie, he was fine. But it was that part that had him terrified.
Maybe he
shut
didn't.
up, Flo.
Yeah, damn. But you don't even like. I'm pretty sure I'd seen that Batman movie. I'm not sure. Maybe I saw the other one. I was just surprised. But that's what I'm saying. Like some of these parents just not thinking and like I'm just taking my family out to the movies.
Well, in your defense, you took him to go see Batman Begins, and this is after the last 3 Batmans were all cartoony and cheesy as fuck. So how could you have known that it was going to be that dark?
Yeah,
because
that one was
the last one before that was like Batman and Robin, where like fucking Schwarzenegger was like, everybody freeze.
Everybody freeze. Wasn't that also Jim Carrey was in that as the
Batman? He's in Batman Forever with fucking Two-Face with Tommy Lee Jones.
Those movies were bad, bro.
They were so campy. They were so bad that they were good.
I know. It's still entertaining to watch.
Because because we were kids like watching that shit, and when you go back and watch it as an adult, I'm dying laughing the whole time because I'm like, this is so terrible. It's like when you have the realization of things you watch when you were a kid. Like I used to be so scared of the movie It with the balloons and all that shit and him creeping. And I watch that shit as an adult. I'm like, this shit is so corny. Like, now the new It, that one has some scary moments. But the first one was so cheesy. Like, I mean, granted, it was old as fuck. Like, so it's only so much of a budget they had.
All the scary movies back in the day that seemed so terrifying as an adult, you look at it and you're like, oh, man.
Right. While we're talking about movies and shows and shit, this is one that you can relate to. Let's talk about House of the Dragon.
Oh,
because I didn't even realize that you were into this show, so I'm glad this worked out. I'm glad this worked out. So I assume that you watched all the Game of Thrones and you're invested. Like, how invested are you? You read all the books?
Not all the books, but a few of them.
Oh, okay. So you're more invested than me. I haven't read none of the books.
Enough to know the differences between what happens in the
and that is right there is why I haven't read none of the books, because I don't want to read the books, and then when the show comes out, it's like, I already know what's gonna happen. Or at least I have an idea. Like, I don't want that. I want to just be surprised.
Well, see, the thing is, they've changed. Like, to me, it's like a new show. Because there's quite a few things change. Some things happen earlier or later than they did, which affects the story greatly. So it is like another story. And then some characters are combined. Yeah. So like a character that will be in the show like doesn't even exist in the books, but the person in the show, the things that happen to him are a combination of things that happen to a character in the book. Okay. And then some new stuff too. So it is new. Like, what happens in the books. Yeah. But when you watch the show's changed enough to make it new. Much like, say, Walking Dead. If you've read the Walking Dead comic book, the show changed enough, right, where it wasn't still a new story, and you didn't. Right. Like, for example, the end of the comics, fucking Rick Grimes dies, but then in the movie or the TV show, he's still alive. Well, the end of the comics, everybody dies, but a few people are still alive. No, Carl's still alive, and Carl died on the show. Yeah, and Carl at the last episode is Carl as an adult. And he in the comic books, and he we ain't even talking about that, but that's just giving that as an example. There's enough difference where different things happen. Like you said, some characters don't even get killed or whatever, aren't even in the show. So it's still new. I would usually say most of the time, but as far as House of the Dragon goes, I think the story changes they've made are more exciting than what happens in the books. Okay. Some of the things that happen in the book are very realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody gets into a battle, gets wounded, and then just dies from the wounds 5 days later, like nothing dramatic. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whereas in the show, it's going to be like a final dramatic battle. Person gives a speech, something like that. So I'm a huge House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. I've watched Game of Thrones probably 3 times over at this point. So I know all about that shit. Okay. Well, so season 2 just wrapped up. That we waited like 3 years for. 8 quick episodes,
I would say this before we talk about before we move on House of the Dragon. Since you did watch Game of Thrones, what did you think about how that series wrapped up initially, and what do you think about it today? Like, is it still the same? Did it change?
It's the same, but less harsh. Because now at least I understand what they were trying to do. Whether or not they actually pulled that off is something else.
Okay, so what did you think about the finale of GOT?
Disappointed. Some things didn't. I guess I wanted to see certain payoffs, and I understand from an artistic standpoint, you want to surprise people, and some moments were cool, but some shit I just didn't. So for instance, the fact that Jon never fought the Night King pissed me off. That for real, it's like it was a dick tease. There's a couple times where it seemed like they was about to fight, and then they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I didn't. I know the moment itself when Arya killed the Night King was cool, but I didn't want her to be the one to do it. I wanted it to be a showdown between the Jon and the Night King.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there.
You wanted Arya to kill her before she did it. You wanted her to
during that show of watching it. I was so sick of Jon Snow. I got tired of him being in the big fights. You know why? Because he was always putting himself in trash ass situations and he would die.
Yeah.
Or get fucked up.
Well, he died. He died once.
But look how many fights he lost, and oh my god!
Once again, it's a tradition here now.
And you notice it was fine until just all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Anyway, go ahead.
I'm gonna cut this because I left that in last time. I thought it was funny. I'm trying to get my bearings together. It smells like bologna. All right. I was sick of Jon Snow being in. I felt like he was making some of the dumbest decisions. Like, it's not fresh on my mind why I was mad at him a lot of times, but it was things where it was like, bro, don't do that. Yes, bro, do that. Like, no, nigga, run. Like, it was like so many things. And I was like, he was turning into like the white girl in the Scary Movie for me. Where I'm like yelling at the fucking screen, like, what are you doing? Like, oh my God. Like, it was too much of that for me with Jon Snow.
That only happened to me once Daenerys came along. Once him and Daenerys were together.
Yeah.
That's when he started getting on my nerves. But before that, even like, say, with the Battle of the Bastards, the situation, I understand.
It's one of the hardest episodes in all of television.
I understand why he pushed through and did in any way with the odds being against him. Well, only thing that pissed me off about that was just fucking Rickon. Nigga swerve, run in a circle, zigzag.
We don't know no better. He's a kid.
Don't just run straight. I mean, you don't got to know better, but if you got to know, this nigga's not going to let you just run back to your brother. But anyway, that was the only part of that whole thing that pissed me off. It's only once he got around Daenerys and was like around her. Because the first time he met her, that nigga was standing on business like, yo, I understand that my family bent the knee to you back in the day, but I don't know you. And as far as I know, your father killed my grandfather.
Yeah.
It's like, so, but whatever, this is all dumb. If we don't get together, we're going to get killed by the Night King kind of shit. He was standing on business. Yeah. Then once he got with her and she came and rescued that nigga, remember that shit?
Yeah.
That's when they was like all dreamy looking in each other's eyes, and he just turned into a dummy after that.
Oh. I forgot all about that moment. That's an example of what I mean by he's a fucking idiot. You gonna go all the way out there, just you and like 5 niggas to take on that army of fucking the Night Watch.
They're supposed to just get one Night Walker and bring it back.
Yeah, I know. How was you gonna get one?
They didn't move like a little stealth group that snuck up on him and like caught one and ran off with him. They didn't do that. That was a problem. They ran in there like there was a fucking army, but it was like 6 of the niggas with 3. What was it? 2, 3 niggas we never seen before. We knew they was gonna die.
My thing is this: why did he do it? He did it to have the Baratheons or whatever in King's Landing come help.
To show them proof that there's actually
fuck to show them proof, to get them to be in an alliance. Mm-hmm. Fuck that shit. You're with Daenerys. Bitch got 3 dragons. But because of what the dumb shit you did, she ended up only having 2 dragons.
But the Night King's army number was unquantified. You don't know how many he had, so he's just trying to get all the help he can get.
I mean, at this point, didn't they already exercise and show you how beast like one dragon was, like just fucking taking out armies of niggas?
Yeah.
So if you got 3, you're riding one, she's riding one, bro. Fucking just
you can blame that on her. Why the fuck do you even bring all 3 of them? Just bring 2 or 1. Should have just rode on Drogon
to come save him.
Yeah.
No. That was smart for her to bring 3 to come save him because she didn't know. Think about it, this little prissy little girl. She don't know what she running into.
And that's the same thing with him. He don't know what he running into, so he's trying to get as much help as possible. We don't know
but
how
for
much
what
to help fight the Night King and all his fucking undeads. He's trying to get everybody.
That shit.
That's what I'm saying. He was trying to get everybody, and part of that is you don't know.
He's doing too much dumb shit.
And if you keep faith, he definitely was. But I understand why he was trying to get them on his side.
Yeah.
Hoping that they would be on his side. And I understand his ignorance of the situation. Yeah. I don't understand Tyrion's ignorance of the situation. Okay. He was the smart one. He knows his fucking sister and all them. Mm-hmm. How he said, again, also a character I was disappointed in. He became a fucking idiot towards the end of the season too. When he was pretty clever and smart and doing shit before, then he just started doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
And suddenly being super like loyal. I understand his loyalty to Jaime. Him and Jaime always had like this closeness.
But they're brothers.
To Cersei, he should have known that bitch didn't give a fuck about nothing, especially about him. And she was faking. We don't even know if she really was pregnant. She said she was, but by who?
Yeah.
So who knows, bro? That last season, I definitely didn't love it. And there's a lot of things. Probably I hated it for all the same reason. A lot of other people hated it. And then after looking back on it after the fact, I understood what could have been and what direction they were going. They just rushed it and they didn't do enough to extrapolate and explain the directions they were going and why people just were turning and just doing shit. Like there could have been definitely for Daenerys and her deciding to burn everything, could have been more time with her leading up to the snap and just like, fuck this. But it just kind of seemed out of nowhere.
No.
For that degree, yes. For her being mad enough to go kill Cersei and all of them, cool. Burning down the Red Keep itself, cool. Going around and just saying fuck this, and I'm burning commoners running away in the fucking streets and the poor districts.
That's what her. I forgot what you call them. That's what her. Was that her? No, it wasn't her hand. What was the girl from Fast and the Furious? The little black chick
from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, the black chick.
Sandy. The one who got her head cut off.
Yeah. She told her to burn everything.
She didn't say burn everything. She just said Dracarys, which doesn't even burn. But that could be just this fucking bitch queen
burn
right
this
here.
Shit down.
But she could have. The thing is, she could have did that off top. And the whole thing when she first got there is, I don't want to be the Queen of Ashes and all of this shit. And you could take King's Landing right now. Mm-hmm. So it's even more of a waste because if you're just gonna fucking do that anyway, you could have did that before you lost your dragons and all this other. Because at this point, all she got is Drogon. Because she lost. Which one was it? I think it was Viserion first, and then it was the other one. Mm-hmm. Then Rhaegar was the one who just got hit by a random stray flying out in the ocean. Which, let me talk about that.
Yeah.
How the fuck, if you look at it, these dragons are flying hella fast and hella high. Mm-hmm. This motherfucker comes from around like a little mountain island, if you look at it, on a boat that's moving like this. Mm-hmm. And shoots this big ass arrow, which basically hooks around this mountain. Yeah. And because they would have had to been concealed behind this little mountain island thing for the dragons not to see him. Mm-hmm. To catch that dragon unaware and hit it right in the neck perfectly. It was the flukiest fucking shot. It just you just can't convince me that person, him of all people, was able to make that shot.
Well, listen, bro, we don't know what the wind was like. The wind could have arched it a little bit.
Lucky shot.
Listen, I mean, they curved the bullet that killed JFK, right? So, it happens. But I think she did that because of all that buildup. Old girl got her head chopped off. She lost her dragon. Like, it was just so much that could have been avoided.
If she just burnt them from the top.
So that's why, she just said, fuck it. Like, that rage. Listen, you've been see red mad before. Mm-hmm. I feel like that worked out perfect, honestly, because when I was watching it before she did it, I was like, yo, she's been through so much. When is she just gonna snap on these niggas? Like, and that was without me knowing. I didn't read none of the books or nothing. So when she finally snapped, I was like, finally, because I was like, I would have been snapped.
Well, the books are only up to the part where Jon gets killed. He hasn't come back to life yet.
Yeah,
but My thing is, I understand her burning Cersei and all of them, the Red Keep and all that kind of shit. She don't even fucking touch the Red Keep.
Yeah.
She destroys the shit out of, well, a little bit she fucks with the Red Keep, but she destroys the shit out of like the regular ass people, motherfuckers running around in the streets, and she's like, all you bitches burn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I understand her getting there, but the show didn't do it in enough time where you really see like the turn. The only person who really made sense, like I thought that nigga was gonna snap, was Grey Worm. After old girl died and her head come out, the way he looked. Which also, after this whole shit is over and Jon kills Daenerys and all that shit,
I already know where you're going.
Grey Worm would have killed that nigga. There would not have been no lock his ass up. He wouldn't have gave a fuck where they was at. He would have killed that fool. And then after that, it's like, let him go to the Night's Watch. He'd be like, Night's Watch don't mean shit to me. We ain't from around here. This Essos bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck all that Night's Watch shit. He got to pay. But no, there's all right, well, we'll just get on our fucking boats and fly off or float off the north or whatever.
That's why I got sick of Jon Snow. He put himself in some of the dumbest predicaments, and he always miraculously just survived.
Well, he's the hero of the show at that point.
Fuck that shit, though. So was Ned Stark. And you see, he ain't even make it to the end of the first season.
Ned Stark is still a hero because everything that happens is a result of what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah.
So there was like in Hero, they're still talking about this fool. His name's mentioned like still, even in the last episode.
Yeah.
So like they're even known as Ned Stark's kids, like because he was such a legendary person or whatever. So his death is the catalyst for like all this shit.
Isn't it so funny? Well, it's not funny, but it's ironic that he was like the most honorable person on the show and he died a traitor.
Yeah. They called him a traitor for telling the truth. Yeah, but he was telling the truth. They're like, traitor to the crown. Chop. Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah.
Bro, up until the time that nigga's head came off, I swear to God somebody's gonna come out and save him. Nope.
Oh, I'm surprised because I was late on Game of Thrones. Like when I started the first season, I think it was already on like season 3. But luckily, I wasn't spoiled. Like, cause nobody I really talked to at the time was even talking about it, so it wasn't like in my face really like that.
I think it was the same. It was like season 3 or 4 when I started watching.
Yeah, so it was dope because like they was like, oh, I mean, people was telling me you got to watch Game of Thrones. You got to watch Game of Thrones. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the first few episodes was fucking dry as fuck. Like, and the only reason I pushed through is because so many people were like, "You gotta watch Game of Thrones. You gotta watch." It was like same thing with Dexter for me. I thought the first few episodes of Dexter was dry as fuck, and I had to force myself. So by the time I finished the first season, then I was hooked. But anyway, back to Game of Thrones. I was hooked from the time, like you said, when the Ned Stark shit happened, because up until me watching Game of Thrones, you never see the main character get offed. So. Yeah. I'm sitting here just like waiting for like something to happen.
It was like
the
a double
knight in
main
shining
character.
Armor to come, somebody to come with a paper that says something. I'm waiting for something to happen.
It was like a double main character death because the king died, you know, rather unremarkably, but they also still said it was maybe it was a setup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, it's on now. Like I'm thinking that's like the on now point.
Right.
Well, it was like the next episode, 2 episodes later, and they killed Ned. I was like,
yeah.
To me, it's like all bets are off. This show can go in any fucking direction now. Like,
and then didn't the episode end with his head getting cut?
Yeah, that was it.
So like you didn't even see it. You just seen the knife come, and it was just like a chink.
They made it clear.
But you didn't see nothing. So I'm like, I'm still in disbelief as I'm going to watch.
They did that, and they cut away from it. Aya's like looking at him like, whoa, shit. And then old boy, the dude from the Night's Watch grabs her. It's like, don't look.
Oh, the episode's still at the end at that point?
Yeah. Like
okay.
It was clear. And then you see, what's the other, Sansa fucking freaking out up there. Mm-hmm. What a character arc she had, because I couldn't stand her fucking ass.
Yeah.
But she came back.
Yeah, I like Sansa a lot. She might have been in like the bottom, like top 20 character, and by the end she was like a top 5.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like the shit she had to go through, like when Ramsay was busting that open.
Busting that open is not the right term, but yeah.
Well, I don't want to say the R word.
Yeah, she went through
I don't want
a lot.
The video flagged.
Oh, and dude, nobody went through more than Greyjoy. Oh my god, that nigga, they took his dick.
Yo,
changed the nigga name to Reek.
That shit was so funny. Yo, Ramsay's one of my top 5 characters on the show.
He's one of the baddest villains on.
He was one of my favorite villains, bro.
He's a psychopath.
When the dude woke up, when you say Reek, what's his name again?
Oh, it was Greyjoy was his last name. I can't remember what the fuck his first name was.
It's like Reek or some shit. Anyway.
That's what they called him, Reek. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When he was like tied up on the thing, Theon. When he was tied up on the thing, and he woke up, and Ramsay's just sitting there eating and stuff.
Eating the sausage?
Yeah, he's eating the sausage, and he was talking about how he cut his shit off, and then you see Theon looking at him like, and then he's like, "Oh, come on, man, it's just sausage. This ain't." He was like, "This ain't your little pecker." Yo, I was crying because I was like, "Yes, that is the kind of villain I would be."
Then he helped to free the nigga, pretend to be his fucking friend.
Yeah,
hunted him. That shit was just, it was psychopath games, bro. Psychopath games.
Nah, bro, Ramsay was that dude. Like that was a great villain. He played the hell out of that role.
Killed his pops,
I didn't think anybody could beat
shit.
Joffrey because Joffrey was it was a little dick.
Yeah, but Joffrey was like an emotional, crazy dude. But Ramsay he wasn't great. Well, he was, but he was smart. And knew exactly what he wasn't just reacting off emotion, not all the time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he was just like methodically doing shit. Dude, that dude was wild. Probably one of the craziest villains I've seen in any show. Maybe also too because a lot of times you see villains in shows want to do sick shit. Somebody always thwarts them, and they're not able to actually complete it. Mm-hmm. Like he had pretty much completely fucked Theon's ass up, and now was just holding him. He finally broke free, and even that was after he was having his way with fucking Sansa.
Yeah, made him sit there and watch. He's like, "Oh, watch as I turn your sister into a woman," you know.
And you're gonna stand there and not do shit, and he sure did.
And he's just sitting there, just look, you know. He said, "Don't look away, watch." So I want you to watch. Turned him into a cuck. He had
that nigga so trained, he gave him a razor and let him shave him. He could have fucking slit his throat. He didn't. That's how trained that fool.
He turned him into straight little bitch.
Diabolical.
Because I already know if you was in that position with that razor, you'd have Satabata Unati.
Yeah.
All right. So my viewpoint on it, I was like kind of meh when it first ended. I felt a little unfulfilled, I guess.
Yeah.
But going back on it when I watch it, I like it now. Like when I had some time to just let it process and I go back and I watch it, and I literally have watched, like, I went through the whole series again when the first season of House of Dragon ended because I just wanted to get another refresher of Game of Thrones. And it was so much better the next time around.
Yeah.
Like, I see where a lot of people were like, it felt rushed and so on and so forth. But I think it came down to we just wanted more and we just didn't get it.
That was definitely rushed. If that's you see it when you watch the whole shit because the way the plot unfolds.
Yeah.
I would say the first maybe 5 seasons are perfect.
Yeah.
And then 6, but that's more of a storyline issue and not so much the pacing.
Yeah.
And the 7 and 8 just kind of, especially 8. I think 8 was the worst.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah,
but I guess the reason why I didn't mind it so much rewatching it is because there was no stones left unturned by that point. So I didn't really need the dialogue. I didn't really need nothing but the action at that point. So that's why it was okay with me. Because take it from somebody that had to sit here for the last decade and go through The Walking Dead. I wish The Walking Dead would have rushed things. I hated having to go through so many episodes. Like, I don't know if you watch Walking Dead at all.
I stopped a little bit after Glenn died.
Okay, so you know the perfect season I'm talking about. That season where Glenn died. I hated the fact at the beginning of that season, and this is like fucking 20-something fucking episodes, we kept hearing about fucking Negan. Negan. Mm-hmm. We had to wait 20-something episodes till we finally seen this nigga Negan. Everybody, I am Negan. Like, who the fuck is this Negan guy? Like, and then on top of that, he finally pops up at the end, the very last episode, kills somebody, and we have to go the whole next 6 months before we even know who the fuck he killed.
Oh, I mean, we knew who he killed.
Oh, well, I didn't read anything, so I didn't.
Didn't he smash? He smashed that nigga's head like right on that episode. I think they wanted to know that anybody else died was the question.
No, he didn't kill. He didn't kill anybody at the end of the episode. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about the season finale.
It was the first episode of the next season when
the first one we knew who we killed. Okay. Eventually they showed that. But I was
kind of hoping he didn't kill Glenn, but
because remember that was the whole big fake out. Mm-hmm. It was like the dumb shit that Power did. Who shot Ghost? Like I don't give a fuck about all that shit. Just who shot him? Having us go into the off season wondering who's gonna kill Ghost or wondering who did Negan kill. Like, yo, just show the shit.
What I didn't like was the show became too much about the humans. And that's
got away from the zombies.
Fell off for me.
Got away from the zombies.
I'm done with that.
When they you missed it because you stopped watching when Glenn died. But there was
like a little after. Maybe I watched the rest of that season.
When it got to like the Whisperers.
Yeah, it was about right then.
The show got good again for that because it went back to the zombie element because now you started to see the zombies and you didn't know if it was a real person or...
Yeah, it still didn't work out for me.
So I don't remember which episode it was. I don't even know if you remember this character, but there was like I think her name is Connie. It's like a deaf person. She can't hear or whatever.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't go that far.
There was a part where there were zombies loose, and she was running through a cornfield, and then it showed it from her perspective, like we're looking at it from her angle, and you couldn't hear anything, bro. That shit was tense. Because think about it, like you're deaf and you're going through a fucking cornfield, and like you can't hear anything, and we had that perspective for like a good 30 seconds, but when it would come out of her perspective, you hear the fucking zombies closing in, fucking people up, and then they go back to hers, and it was quiet. I was like, ooh.
Being deaf during that shit is a terrible period.
Oh, I wouldn't even make it, bro. I'd have been off myself.
Okay, all of this, we still ain't talking about House of the Dragon.
Oh. So. The Walking Dead actually was a good segue into House of the Dragon because the first season... Remember how it ended with shit popping off, old boy Eamon killing the son or his nephew or whatever, killing his nephew. And we see at the end of that, it's war. So, spoiler alert.
I think that's his brother, technically. No, you're right, nephew. You're right.
So, kills his nephew, which sets off the chain of events for a war. Why the fuck did we just go through all of season 2 and it just finale went to they're ready for war?
Yeah, season 1 happened over the course of like 10 years. There's a little bit of a time jump in there or something like that. This one happened over the course of like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
So
maybe longer because, it's longer. I would say maybe 6 months.
Right. So this goes into do you like it when they speed things up or do you like it when they take their time? Because it's like, I like it when things are sped up. After going through Walking Dead, I don't like when shit takes its time. And everybody out there that's a House of the Dragon fan is feeling my pain right now. We just went through an entire season 2 that we waited 2+ years for, and now we got to wait 2+ more years for the very next season. And all season 2 was basically the build up for the war.
There wasn't that much.
There was a couple fights.
Little fights. But.
Cool. There's a couple fights. There's some deaths. It's not what we sought out to see. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is season 2 in my eyes was an 8-hour trailer. It was an 8-hour trailer for what's to come.
I'll give you that because it definitely was setting everything up, doing a lot of explaining. They definitely did add a lot of details. So just for context, in the House of the Dragon, or actually it's called Blood and Fire books, it's not told. It's told from the perspective like of a history person telling this is like what we heard and this is what we think happened and all that. It's not like how we're looking at it now.
It's not a straight up narrator.
Yeah, it's not a narrator telling a story. It's a historian's account of what happened.
Wait, so when you read those books, they're written as if it's like, I forgot what they're called.
A maester.
Who?
A maester.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
written as if like one of those niggas wrote it.
Yeah, and they're just giving an account of what happened.
That's kind of dope.
According to like documents, I mean, they'll even quote stuff. According to such and such, Macer has live written in here. Yeah. This is what happened. So, like for instance, the part where like in the show we see that Aemon purposely set fire to the king while he was fighting Rhaenys, right?
Yeah.
In the books, they say it's alluded based on the eyewitness accounts of people who were there that might have been what happened.
Yeah.
But that's not a fact. Like we see it as a fact on the show.
Yeah.
But in the books, it's basically just recounted as they think that may happen, and the Prince Regent maybe did it on purpose so he can take power, but no one knows that. You see what I'm saying? And because it was just people saw, dragons fighting.
Is this just hearsay?
And the way that fight took place was different too. So in the show, you see Rhaenys and the king fighting in midair, and then Vhagar just comes and burns them both, and they both fall. Well, actually, just the king falls, and then Meraxes and Vhagar fight, and Vhagar falls. Well, actually, what happens in the book is the king and Rhaenys are fighting, and Rhaenys is fucking the king shit up.
Yeah.
And then Vhagar comes and just smashes both of them, and all three of them go down, crash. Right. Vhagar, since he's on top, gets up no problem.
Yeah.
Right? Meraxes and Rhaenys, dead. King and the dragon burned, but alive. So it wasn't like it looked more like a three dragons going at it up in the sky.
I think that'd have been a cooler way for it to happen.
They go
because when they would all hit the ground, we'd have been all like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And then you see this motherfucker get up.
Yeah, because how do you help if you're in a dragon fight in the midair and you see your bros getting his ass whooped? How do you jump in and help? You would try to jump in and smash. That's what happened. So Vhagar actually grabbed Meraxes, the red one, Rhaenys, and smashed that one, but Meraxes still had hold of the other one. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why they all kind of went through, all three went down. But that's why it's like up in the air. Did he do that shit on purpose?
Yeah.
And the show, it's clearly seen, we see it, it's depicted as he burned the shit out of that motherfucker. Then the two of them fight. But in the way it's depicted in the book, it's like a gray area. Did he do that on purpose, or is that just like what happened? We don't know. That's just what is heard. So a lot of this is kind of told that way.
So I mean, I know we've seen the show, but you think he meant to burn his brother on purpose?
Hell yeah, he did that shit on purpose.
So when he was walking up to his body and it looked like he was about to pull his blade out, you think he was going to try and kill him?
He was putting his blade away.
He was putting that blade away that he picked up, right?
Yeah, he picked one up, which might have just been his.
Yeah. You think he was going to probably walk over and just finish him off?
Nah, I think he thought that fool was dead. He was like, that nigga dead. But nah, he wasn't. And they said that in the show they said his dragon is dead. That would be a difference because in the book that dragon lives.
Yeah, because the next episode that motherfucking head was getting rolled around.
No. Like remember that head that was rolling around was Rhaenys' dragon.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And they said they left the dragon in the forest because it was too wounded and too huge for them to move. In the books, that's true, and it like lives off feeding off the animals there, and the Cole's forces had taken Rook's Rest, so they were feeding it sheep and shit, and eventually it nurses itself back to
full health. Yeah, but it died on the show, right? Because
they said it might be dead, but we don't know.
I assumed it was dead because somebody said something like he has no dragon or something. Yeah,
that's what they said. But that's what I'm saying. Obviously said it, but I don't know because in the books this dragon lives.
No face, no case. We still ain't seen a body.
and that dragon is responsible for a very significant death in the books. So how are they going to? They'd have to do it in a different way if the dragon doesn't live.
I mean, if he because he's going to be a gimp, right? Well, don't spoil it for me.
He said gimp. Yeah, I mean, he crippled, man. He can get up and shit again, but... Yeah, but, I mean, hey, Franklin Saint was crippled at one point in Snowfall, and he eventually was walking around. Also, like, talking about how things happen in different sequence, Aegon, the king, doesn't leave King's Landing until Rhaenyra and them come to siege it. And that's when he, like, sneaks off and hides in a fishing village somewhere. But in this one, he takes off before that even happens. So... And so, just so y'all might have read the books, and this is probably not going to happen since he left so early, but in the books, after the siege of King's Landing, he leaves and he hides out in a fishing village in Dragonstone, as a matter of fact. And how it comes out is when his dragon heals itself, it flies back to Dragonstone. And they see it like, oh shit, your fucking dragon's alive and it's flying. So he goes back to claim his dragon and then takes Dragonstone.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how that happens.
As a cripple.
Yeah, he's up and around and shit at this point. Because also another thing, it's like a year has passed and he's back on the throne when Rhaenyra takes over. It's not like it is in the show. So I'm saying this, you may know what's happening in the books, but they do things differently and in a different order. Okay. So the books aren't on a spoiler. You do know what it's like. You have more of a hint on what could happen. Yeah. But a lot of things are different, such as those dragon riders that took the extra dragons. Like some of them don't even exist in the books. There was so like Adam, for instance, I'm pretty sure he's not in the books, but there's a girl named like Nyx or something who's sort of the same thing. She's dark skinned with silver hair. Probably one of fucking the Valerian spinoff kids. Also, this little chick is in an affair with Daemon. Okay. So, but that character doesn't even exist on the show. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm pretty sure it's Sea Smoke she rides, and after the sea battle, she just fucking takes off with the dragon and leaves. You never see her ass again. So it's saying it's like completely different. So even though you know what happens in the books, you can see watching the show that they're doing it different. They know that because, I mean, really, the problem with doing it exactly the way the book is doing it is most people, when they read a book, they have like a little movie or picture in their mind or what things are supposed to be and what they're supposed to look like. Yeah. And if you do things the exact same way in the book, if it doesn't match the way people pictured it in their head, which inevitably is not, then people are going to be disappointed. But if you stick around the same kind of thing and then you just change certain stuff, I mean, they did it in Game of Thrones. For instance, there's two big characters in Game of Thrones that are not even in the show. For instance, Caitlin Clark.
Oh, when she comes back, right? I remember hearing about that.
And she's like
Lady of Death or something like that.
Yeah, like I forgot what
that'd have been cool.
Yeah, Lady Rivers or some shit, I can't remember. And then there's another Targaryen, the little boy, he lived. It goes by the name Griff. And he makes it back to Westeros before Daenerys does. Oh, okay. And that's like a whole nother character and a whole nother Targaryen brother.
Yeah, I think they should have kept that Lady of Death storyline. I think that would have been dope. Because I imagine she comes back and gets revenge and stuff, right? Yeah, cause she's the one that's traveling around with them dudes with the Lord of Light or whatever. She's leading that group in the book. And I think in the book right now where it left off, she's captured, what's the big woman? What the fuck was her name in there? Oh, the knight. I know you're talking about. He's captured her. She's captured her and Podrick right now, and she's gonna kill her. But because she was supposed to protect the daughters and shit, and then she did it. Yeah. So Caitlyn's like the fuck, But there's that's kind of where that is in the book. So you don't know if she does wind up killed. Probably not, right? But you never know what happens. So in the books, that's why everyone right now because fucking R.R. Martin is out here talking shit about things, and niggas is like, shut up and finish the fucking book, nigga. Want to hear shit from you? Sit your ass down and write some shit. I don't think it's ever going to be finished. He'll get to it in a while. What I think is a reaction to the last two episodes, the last two seasons of Game of Thrones were close enough to what he was actually going to write. It scared him off, and now he's trying to write a completely different ending now. Because I'm sure with the book, yeah, exactly. I'm sure he gave them like some nuggets. How things will kind of end up, and they kind of filled in the spaces, right? And if everything we hated about it was the stuff that was just in the spaces, he'd be all right. But a lot of things we hate about it, I guarantee you, are stuff that was big parts of the story he was writing. Now he's rewriting this shit. So it's probably years of shit. He's just like, well, everyone already hates this. Let me throw this out the fucking window. Especially what I think one of the biggest twists was, I bet you he really was going to end up with that Bran the Broken shit. With Bran being the king, and everyone's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, everybody hated that. So he's like, well, we gotta come up with something else. I liked it. I thought it was stupid. I like how he made Sansa king of the North. I'm mad because, nigga, you sitting there with a straight face saying nothing. What do you think I came all this way for? I would have punched that little nigga right in his fucking face. I love that part. It's like, I thought that was such a flex. Because I feel like he didn't say nothing because he already knew. That's why he didn't say nothing. He's just waiting for it to play out. Even like looking at Theon like, Theon, you've been a good man. Yeah. That dude was straight faced the whole fucking time. He was like, hey, listen, thanks for holding it down. Now that was a surprise one. Like when the Night King walked up on him, I was waiting to see him get turned into one of those things.
But that explains why he just stood there like.
Yep.
You look at that nigga like you really think you got this.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When you go back and watch it, it's just little tidbits. Like
when you got that in your mind, and it makes sense.
Like when he gives Arya, I have no use for this.
Yeah, that's everything makes sense. Yeah, because in the moment it's like this motherfucker don't seem engaged at all.
Yeah,
but that's because he at this point he knows what's going to happen.
He knows how it's all.
He knows he's just going to sit there.
He had to come back and put the pieces in play.
So even with the Jon revealing to his sisters that he's really a Targaryen, he's like, it's your choice.
Yeah. And then like once again, like look at Ned Stark, most honorable character, dies a traitor, and then look at fucking Theon, nigga basically died a protector.
Absolute traitor, yeah, and died a protector.
Yeah, like he got in the end, his name meant something.
I think that talk he had with Jon when they were back in Dragonstone was good too.
Yeah.
When he was like, you've always seemed to know like what the best thing to do is, and I've always wanted to, but I just didn't seem to be able to. Jon was like, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know the right thing to do either. I just, try to.
Yeah.
But you're as much Ned's kid as I am, or whatever the fuck. I was like, okay. He's like, yo, what I can't forgive, I will. And he's like, well, what are you trying to do now? He's like, oh, my sister needs me. He's like, what the fuck are you doing talking to me? He was like, you know what, you're right.
Right. Yeah, he got wise real quick because remember he was just like this little annoying kid.
He kind of still was, but he played his part now. Wasn't trying to do too much. Mm-hmm. So when he went and rescued his sister, even though she bombed on his ass after he rescued her, he still played his position next to her and like not let her lead, but she was leading and he wasn't resentful of that shit or nothing. He just played his fucking position, and that's something he should have learned a long time ago. Yeah, is don't try to do too much and play a fucking position. Because it was him and his shit and the whole thing with the fucking Starks and leaving fucking what's the oldest son's name? Stark kid.
The one that died in the Red Wedding?
The young wolf, yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Anyway, yeah. But Game of Thrones fans can't remember.
So back to House of the Dragon. So now that you got 2 seasons underneath your belt, what'd you think?
I'm with you on the second season. I feel like a lot of the stuff they did in the second season could have been done in 2 episodes, maybe 3. We didn't need 2 or 3 episodes of Daemon tripping balls.
A lot of you Game of Thrones fans was mad they rushed it. They took your advice. They're like, let's not rush it.
No. But
let's flesh this story out.
But there's certain. But it's trying to explain people's motivations for their movements, and this one, it kind of over-explained and then didn't explain. So like Daemon doing everything he did to just bend the knee in the fucking in the end, kind of seemed anticlimactic. Excuse me. Even though I know that's what he was going to do, him tripping balls in that fucking castle. I also know in the books, and I don't know if this is somehow going to change, but that chick that's like in the castle with him, Aemon winds up with her. So it's like when they have their final showdown, he has to like let her off the dragon so he can fight with old boy in the books. I don't know how they're going to do it here. And even that this
nigga just dropped some spoilers. It's just so rude.
Everybody knows these 2 motherfuckers is finna fight. When? We don't know because how the book goes, it's around now.
You talking about Daemon and
Aemon? Daemon and
Aemon. Oh, okay.
Yeah. When they in the books go the way the story's set up now, they're like about to fight pretty fucking soon. That's not the final show.
They're not gonna fight on the dragon, right?
Hell yeah, they fight on the dragons. Man. Everybody fights.
I want to see them fight with the swords because they both nasty with the swords.
Yeah, they're gonna fight on the dragons. Yeah, well, maybe they do have a sword fight first. I want to see a sword fight. The show can do whatever they want. Yeah. And in the book, they fight on the dragons or whatever.
We've given this war to the dragons.
But that happens like pretty soon here with the way they set up the story. That's about halfway through like the entire story. That's not like this final battle at the end or whatever.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, HBO Max. R.R. Martin, all you fucking Tolkiens, whatever you want to call them, motherfuckers. If season 3 comes back, well, we know it's going to come back. It's a cash cow. When season 3 comes back, if this entire season, after the first episode, isn't nothing but hot fire,
it should be all fights. It should be.
I literally want to see if it's going to be only 8 episodes. 6 episodes got to be fights. you could give me a dry part for the first episode to come back into the season, and then a dry part to wrap it up. But in between that, I want heads on stakes.
Well, they're gonna, you know, I know they're gonna flush it out because the way they set everything up, how they show like when they show the Graybeards from the Starks coming across the river.
Yeah. Oh no, they're setting it up for multiple fights to be happening.
But again, like when all of this is in motion in the books, like we're rushing towards the ending at this point. That sounds like, so when they said there's gonna be 2 more seasons, like, oh, they about to drag this out because all the pieces are in place right now for everything to happen in succession like it's supposed to in the books, right? But obviously that's not gonna happen. There's definitely been a couple of differences. I also wonder how far down in the story they're going to go.
Yeah.
Because this Dance of Dragon shit, even after everyone, like basically everyone dies and certain people are installed as king and queen, there's still more that happens, especially regarding the dragons after that. So I'm like, I wonder how far are they going to go? Are they going to go just to the end of this power struggle, or are they going to go to the whole thing with the dragon pit? Like, are they going to do all that? That'd be interesting. Actually, I hope they do because I want to see that like live action.
Yeah.
happen.
What do you think about the characters?
Jace is getting on my nerves. He's a little bitch. Always walking around with his hand on the sword. That kind of annoying. Complaining and like, Mommy, they don't respect me. They don't respect us. And I'm a bastard child. And the fucking daughter has to be like, nigga, you're fucking rich with a dragon if you don't shut your bitch ass up.
Right.
That's basically what she was telling him.
Right.
So he kind of gets on my nerves. The new dragon rider dude, Ulf, he's a little annoying, but you know, whatever. He's new. I think that's supposed to be his character. He's supposed to be like this, I don't know, lovable Ulf or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. I like
Cole, I've hated Cole since season 1. Cole gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, all this bullshit we did and now all my stuff I came to means nothing under the foot of the dragon. But it's like thinking back on some shit, looking at old boy's brother in the face with a sword right to his face, like, this don't mean shit, bro. But I do like almost all the characters, even the ones that kind of get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who I just like, you are a fucking terrible character and you serve no fucking purpose? Nobody.
Yeah. I'm still spoiled by Game of Thrones. I like those characters more.
Which character? The evil ones?
No, just saying in general, the characters in Game of Thrones. Like, these characters on House of the Dragon, they're not doing nothing for me. Like, outside of Rhaenyra, I don't care if anybody else dies. Like, remember Game of Thrones, you felt some type of like, oh, they better not kill this person. Or they better not kill. I don't even feel like that.
I will give you that. All these niggas could die.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even care.
Like, oh, it's so terrible. Like, all you niggas could die.
Yeah, like look at some of the deaths that we've had.
Well, you know what? I did it. Like, Rhaenys was her name? Yeah, when she died, like, but she kind of went out like a G, like the way she wanted to. So I didn't feel bad about it.
Yeah, it just felt like when we watched like the little hood movie and one of the niggas died, just keeping it real.
Yeah,
that's what I felt when I was watching
you can't send these.
I was like, hell yeah. I wasn't even sad. I was like, hell yeah. She went out like a gangster. Like, that's how I looked at it.
But you knew that because when she was like going to send her son and the other one, she was like, you can't send them. They don't know what they're doing. Let me go.
Has to be me. I was like, she done. I was like, she out of here.
Yeah. She was fucking shit up. And she would have won against the king, no problem. But
I think, listen, at the end of the day, I think she did more damage by killing this guy's dragon and crippling him.
Yeah, that was a big
because if you just kill him, it's one thing just to kill him, but he's still alive, but he's finished. Like, he's alive but useless. Like, he don't have his charming good looks no more. I mean, you see, he said his fucking dick burst into fire like it was on the grill.
Dude, when he said that shit, bro, like I would think to myself,
crying.
like, oh my God, what if that happened? And he said, nigga said, I can't piss. What did he say? I can't piss without it running down my leg.
Yeah.
I'm like, would I kill myself? Nah, I probably kill some other people.
What you mean?
If I was in that day and age and my shit got exploded, oh, bro, I'm pillaging across the countryside.
I mean, bro, just go to the whorehouse and go eat you some pussy. He still got his mouth.
That is not the same, my guy. That is not the same.
At least you could do that.
Nah, I'm killing. I'm killing.
Hey, just try and throw that little bratwurst up in there. try and make it fit. It's all split up and everything.
That shit is like burned, probably half connected to his leg and shit. Like, nah, bro, that shit, you can't do nothing with that shit.
Oh shit, I'm dying.
That's terrible, bro. That's just terrible. Oh, yeah. Damn.
I mean, he don't need it anyway. Because I mean,
he was still young.
But he's crippled. Like what back shots is he giving? He can't.
He's rich enough. If his shit was still working, he'd still be smacking.
Probably.
They would make that nigga apparatus he could stand so he could smack cheeks.
But now you look at Eamon now, it's like damn. You just having a cut eye don't look so bad now compared to how your brother is. Because when he got his eye, it's like, ugh, damn, your eye's all fucked up when he was a kid.
Yeah, her kids are getting fucked. The one nigga lost his eye, and this motherfucker get burned. The other kid got his fucking head cut off.
Yeah, well, that was her grandkid.
Yeah, they just fucking up the kids, and then what's his name? Luke. Luke got all ate up and shit. Well, Luceren is his name, but they just called him Luke.
I don't remember who that was.
That's the little dude that Vagar ate up on his fucking dragon when they was fighting, and he's at the end of season 1.
I'd have to go back and revisit.
You talked about it earlier. The first person that died.
Oh, you talking about the son. Rhaenyra's son.
Yeah, Rhaenyra's son.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucerys is his name. They call him Luke.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is how like uninterested I'm in the characters. Like, I can barely remember their names, but I'm so invested in the show. That's what I'm saying. Because
you just want to know what happens. Anybody in particular, you're not really rooting for or against. Per se,
they're not giving me no reason to. Like, there's no substance there for the characters. I'm just watching the show. I'm literally just watching the show. I'm invested in just the show. Like, a good example. Like, look at that. I don't know if you ever watched that show, Squid Game. They got a new one coming out.
Oh, they got a new one coming out?
Yeah, it comes out.
Definitely watched the first one. Yeah.
Christmas season 2.
Okay.
Look at those characters. I was invested in those characters. Like, shit, who's going to live? Who's going to die? You know what I'm saying? And before anybody dies, only one person can make it. So you're about to lose all these characters. So I was invested in those characters. We're watching House of the Dragon, which is basically Game of Thrones. At the end, not all these characters are going to be here. And I'm like, I'm not even invested in these characters.
Well, it depends. If they do it like the books, like literally none of them is going to be here. Like,
this nigga, man, just stay spoiling.
You said you didn't care if anybody. I'm telling you, and this is just the books, right? We established that shit is different.
Yeah, they can change it up.
In the books, everybody dies.
Yeah, well, they changed up the dragons in the book.
Yeah,
because in the book they don't have hands. They just got wings and feet. Yeah,
they got the little 3-finger claws. They look like this, though. They're not like fucking whole.
They're not like hands. Like right now, they have hands. Like you can fucking scratch and shit, like fucking cats.
Yeah, they got them big ass claws.
Yeah,
man, that's just so you know. Yeah, everybody, literally everybody dies.
I would
all the major characters.
I would imagine so.
Now the little kids who you've barely seen or haven't seen yet, they are the ones who survive this shit. But everybody else, they don't call that shit the Dance of the Dragons for nothing. But I think they will go all the way into the dragon pit thing, because I think they said that this is supposed to tell the story of why there is no dragons in the time of House of the Dragons and why it was such a big deal that Daenerys had some.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, in Game of Thrones. And explain why it was such a big deal in Game of Thrones and how it came to be that when we pick up on Game of Thrones that there's no dragons.
They all basically ended up killing themselves. For the most part.
You want to know? I mean, it's in the books.
I mean, you're saying it. You're saying it because there's no dragons.
No, that's not what happens.
But there's a bunch of dragons. So
well, some dragon riders die, but the dragon lives.
Oh, okay.
So it's like,
I forgot what's the name of that place. Isn't there a place that they said that the dragons go?
Yeah.
Isn't that where they took Daenerys' body or something?
Yeah, Valerian or whatever.
Some shit like that. Yeah, maybe that's where all the dragons just chilling, hanging out. It's just the dragons. No people.
Yeah, I mean, even in again, the book, that Blood and Fire book goes even further in the beginning. But right before Jaehaerys takes kingship, the king before him has a daughter named Baela or something like that.
Okay.
And she rides Balerion. I don't know if they never show Balerion, but he's the biggest craziest dragon there's ever been. And she rides him and takes off for a year plus, disappears. No one knows she's not in Westeros. And then, but there's a lot of sightings of her over in Ovalaria in Essos or whatever. And then suddenly she comes back out of nowhere. She's sick with what they think is grayscale at that, but they didn't know about that at this point. And Balerian's got mad wounds and shit on him. They don't know what happened. And then she dies within a couple of days of even making it back.
Wow.
So like that's like a thing. Then like I said in the book, Sea Smoke takes off with one other chick. You don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
And they even say in the House of the Dragon that there's like little dragon sightings and shit, but they stay the fuck away from that area because it's known as like the Doom or some shit. And we got them crazy people with the grayscale and all that shit. So yeah. No, well, just to tell you because you want to know, all the dragons die too for two reasons. Rhaenyra's son is scared of the youngest one. You haven't really seen him yet. He's scared of dragons because of the things that happen. So he locks them all up in the dragon pit. And I forgot specifically what happens, but like all of King's Landing riots, and they go to the dragon pit and destroy it and kill all the dragons.
Okay.
But the other thing too is like in the book, every dragon is very unique. And they don't really show that. So, for instance, Sunfire, which is the king's dragon, that dragon just would be gold, like shimmering gold. Even its fire is gold.
Yeah.
And then Dreamfire, which is Helena, the crazy chick whose kids got killed.
Yeah.
Her dragon is called Dreamfire because it's got like this baby blue, like a dream scales, and when it blows fire, it's like this fucking rainbow and shit. Like all the dragons have magical looking.
So we're in for a nice treat, season 3.
I would think that last part probably happens in season 4. Season 3 should be everybody dying. Season 4 should be how peace is made, and then the dragon thing. That's what I would think.
No, I'm talking about seeing Helena's dragon, like seeing all the dragons for the most part in action. We should see that in the next season.
If they do it like the books, Helena's dragon never comes out.
And it's got all this dope shit like you're saying. That sucks.
Yeah, all the dragons are like super unique in some sort of way, and that's why they're like a lot of them have their names based on the way that they look and their characteristics. Like Sea Smokes, Flames, or like Smokes or Smoke or whatever.
Yeah,
and like
we haven't seen
like
Sea Smoke yet, right? Like
Sea Smoke is
no.
Bastard.
We haven't seen him like attack. Like we haven't seen like the flame, right?
Have we? I don't recall because the last one before Adam claimed him was her gay husband. Rhaenyra's gay husband was a writer. He faked his death and ran off.
I forgot about that.
I don't remember if he ever blew fire with that dragon or not.
He didn't die, right? He still just...
No, he's alive. He just like faked his death and ran off.
Oh, wow. So I watch him end up coming back.
Well, see, that's another thing. See, in the books, like I said, everything's told like as an account. It's a rumor that he didn't actually die, that he faked his death and still out there somewhere. That's just a rumor. In the book, they show it definitively. Not in the book, I'm sorry. In the show, they show it definitively as that's what's happened.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they've taken liberties with the show because there's some things that aren't established as fact. It is something that just was heard or people talked about, or certain people or supposedly died, but they really didn't. They just snuck away somewhere, like, or that's just a rumor, right?
Right.
Usually when there's no body found, then people come up with shit.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna get up off this topic, and I think I'm gonna just wrap it up.
We could talk House of the Dragon for a whole fucking episode.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even realize you watched that show like that, because I would have been hitting you up these weeks. Because when you talk to certain people, and it's like, I don't know, like, you don't want to bring up shows like that to people that aren't interested, because it's like wasting my time.
But there's a level to it too. Some people watch it and enjoy it, but they're not into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I'm into it. I love that shit.
Yeah. No, you into it. I'm just enjoying it right now. Like I was clearly way more into Game of Thrones, but
this isn't as good as Game of Thrones, but they know that. So
you guys have the chance to redeem yourself with the 3rd season. Hopefully, knock on wood, Lord willing, I'm here to see it, because who knows what could happen in the next 2 years. Jesus, that's such a long time. Like, I was talking to some of my friends about this show, and I was just like, having to wait. This is crazy with the technology we have today. Having to wait almost 2-3 years for another season. Like, look at Euphoria. I'm still waiting on season 3. It's about to start recording, going to production next year.
That's crazy.
It's been 2 years off the air.
But old boy died.
That
but
didn't
you know
change.
what?
That didn't
Not
change
really,
nothing.
right? Because the way the season ended.
Because he was going to go to jail or whatever anyway. He killed somebody in the show. But my thing is like, could you imagine if like our usual annual things we'd have to wait 2-3 years for? Like imagine when football went off the air. Oh, we got to wait 3 years for it to come back.
For them to plan the season and all that shit. Like, nah.
We would lose our fucking mind. Like, same thing with like a lot of these shows. Like Seinfeld, I don't know. Sopranos, they sometimes skipped a year.
Yeah, but most of these ones that were on TV and syndication, there was no breaks.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes what happened, like, let's say the season started in the fall usually, right? Some shows had a delay where the new season didn't start to the winter, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. But not fucking like we're taking a whole year off.
Right.
And actually, some shows have done that, but we're talking like 9-10 seasons in.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
and most of the time they do like little breaks. Like, let's say if this is a 20 episode show every season. They'll probably show the first 10 in the winter time, or I'm sorry, in the fall, and then it'll go on a break, and they'll come back with the last 10 like during the spring or something like that, and then come back fall again. It'll be the next season.
Yeah, but these shit now take forever to come out.
And this is crazy. Like the technology, all this AI shit and cameras, like fast editing, like shit should be like.
I feel like
nothing.
it should be faster, but I also feel that maybe there's something I just don't know that hinders the process or something.
Yeah.
About being on location and moving shit around, the logistics of it could be difficult. But a lot of times, like you said, when they say a show won't even start filming or some shit for a year and a half after the end of the last season. Right. I don't know. Sometimes it's scheduled things because a lot of these people that come on these shows become big stars, start getting movies.
Nah, these little fantasy dragon shows on HBO take precedent. Like you put everything on the back burner. Your other acting jobs, your family, like you got to just get this done.
All right.
But yeah, man, sorry we dragged that out. If you don't like House of Dragons, you did not like the last part of this episode.
or was Walking Dead? We talked about that a lot too.
Talk about Walking Dead. Man, listen, these shows, they have to just quit wasting time. Just get to the nitty gritty, because what happens is like, we're lucky with some of these big budget shows because they're not going to get canceled. But what happens is these shows that aren't a big budget show, they get canceled because when they drag it out, they lose the viewers. Yep. And once you lose the viewers, you can't retain it again, because it's just like if you play a bad video game. The video game is trash. Guess what? There's a better game out there to replace it. Yeah, Same thing with the TV show. There's a better show out there to replace it. Same thing with the movie. It's a better movie out there to replace it.
Some shows aren't good enough to be having that kind of, like, to keep me hooked. You got to keep giving me. You got to keep feeding me. If you maybe take a break, I done forgot about your shit. And
because I already know this House of the Dragon production's got to be expensive as fuck. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine it's still going to just be greenlit regardless, because it's going to still bring in the traffic no matter what. But some of these other shows that we're not so invested in, there's no books or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We just wash our hands with it and just move on to the next show. Like, I'm cool. I'm not watching that again.
You ever watch, not to extend this, Wheel of Time? The Wheel of Time?
What's that?
That's good too. It's on Amazon.
The Wheel of Time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's like a little synopsis of it?
Game of Thrones-esque.
Oh, man.
But it's like, well,
I know what you're talking about.
It's about like that's like a person that's supposed to be like the prophesied to be this super powerful magician dude, but at the beginning they don't know which. So it's like a group of few friends, and they're not really sure which one's the super powerful one. So there's all this machinations going on, but you figure it out by the next season who the one is. It's good.
All right, I'll take your word. Hey, well, look, I got a couple of years before the next season of House of the Dragon. So
I think it's 2 seasons.
I guess I could watch a little bit of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. This is episode 30. I just want to say thank you, appreciate you. I didn't even know if we was gonna make it this far, but we did. It's been a lot of trial and tribulations to get here, and just want to say I'm appreciative. Keep rocking with us. Let's get another 30 in. It's like I always say, like, share, subscribe, and comment. This is Verbal Gunplay. We out.
Yeah.
Peace.